Hello, everybody. My name is Ahmed Baba. I'm a journalist here on Substack, and I'm happy to be joined by the one and only Don Lemon. I mean, I don't know if he needs a big introduction, but you know him from Lemon Nation that he's been representing here. You know him from CNN, and now as a thriving independent journalist. Don, thank you so much for joining me.
Ahmed, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. And by the way, everybody who's watching, make sure you hit the heart so that more people become aware that Ahmed and I is having this great conversation that we're about to have.
Yes, thank you for hitting that logistics, man. Also, hit the subscribe button. All right. Like if you are here, tap that subscribe button right at the top, hit the hearts, send comments in. We got Kristen in here. She said she's a lemon head already. You know, you got your squad coming in here. Great. So Don, before we touch on the craziness of this week and the Trump agenda and the big beautiful bill, or I call it the reverse Robin Hood bill, I want to talk about you for a little bit. I mean, your YouTube channel is rapidly growing, hundreds of thousands of subscribers so far already this year. You've been on TikTok, dropping some hilarious videos, but also doing man on the street videos and content, and you're just really killing it. I mean, you seem like you're having a genuinely good time. So I just wanted to start by asking, how are you liking independent journal life, man?
Yeah, I'm having a great time and I'm working my ass off.
Yes. Yeah.
But it's fun. I mean, I was, someone asked me that question and I said, basically, it's fun. It's a lot of work and it's fun. But what I like about independent journalism is that, number one, the freedom of it, and you can just tell the truth. It doesn't have to be filtered.
Exactly.
But also you're closer to the folks. You get to interact with the people. Like, we can, Esther Rose is there. Says, I'm just meeting you both, Esther. We get to talk to people,
Yeah.
right? And I get to go out and talk to people every single day. And so that interaction, that close interaction that you have with your, if you want to call it your customers, right? With the American
Yeah.
people or with people from all over the world, that means the world to me. So I really love it.
That's great. Yeah. I mean, you get this direct relationship, you get to build real community, right? It's like when
Yeah.
you're in more in legacy media, it's more like I'm kind of doing the reverse trajectory where I'm starting to go on some of these more legacy media platforms. And it's not the same as doing it here where you're just get to communicate directly. Like we're seeing comments from people in real time. And on that note, of being able to just tell the truth blatantly, I saw on an appearance of Bill Maher, you said now on your YouTube show, you don't have to pretend anymore and
Right.
you can really just speak the truth. You don't have to do false equivalency. You don't have to platform liars. Can you expand on that a little bit? Like, what are you able to say now and do now that you don't think you were able to do before?
Well, I can, talk about the cult, the MAGA cult. I can call them for what they are. A lot of them, as I said on the Bill Maher show, there's a large faction of the MAGA folks that are racist. And then he said, well, they would take offense to that. And I said, the truth is often offensive.
Mhm.
Because everyone has to say, well, not all of them. Well, maybe not all of them, but I can say this now, in order to vote for him, you had to hold your nose or you had to overlook a whole lot of racism and bigotry and sexism and on and on and on. So I don't have to worry about, I used to represent 4,800 other people for a huge global brand. So I
Yeah.
constantly self-editing. And oh, what can I say? What can I not? I just say it now. I don't have to worry about it. And if I say, oh, well, that was fucked up. I didn't mean that. And you can say that. But
Yeah.
now, I mean, I can say that now, but then I couldn't do that. I'd have to go, not everybody's this. I don't have to give false equivalents anymore. I don't have to platform liars. I don't have to platform insurrectionists or insurrection sympathizers or election
Mhm.
deniers. None of that. I don't have to do
Yeah.
it anymore. And pretend that, it's normal. I don't have to pretend that what the Trump folks that are doing, that was happening in Washington right now, is normal. Don't have to do it at all.
No, exactly. Like you don't have to beat around the bush. You don't have to play
Right.
both sides. You don't have to appease. There's all these different corporate interests there. There's a producer in your ear. There's all these different things in those moments you have to take into account. And like you said, you're carrying a whole brand, and now it's just the Lemon Nation. That you're carrying. You got the merch. You got a whole thing going here.
You
It's
saw the
great
merch,
stuff.
right?
I saw the merch, man. I saw the
I
merch.
look, I was like, I'm not gonna do. As soon as I started the channel, people were like, and I said, when I said Lemon Nation, they were like, oh my gosh, yes, we need some merch that says that. And I think they started calling themselves Lemonhead first. And they said, you got to get some merch. I'm like, I'm not going to get any merch. And then they constantly get some merch, get some merch. And I waited a year. I mean, I held off a year, a good year.
Yeah.
And then finally I'm like, okay, you guys won. I'm going to get some merch. And so it's weird to have to do that. Just like it is, um, I'm exercising a different muscle. Now I have to like read ads.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
but when you're doing this, having ads and sponsors is a sign of success.
Exactly.
But then you have to say, hey, I got to get a word from our sponsors, and then you have to read a sponsor ad. So you know, um, it's different, but it is a community, as you said. I have a
Yeah.
community of people every single day that tune in and engage, and it means the world to me.
You clearly do. I just been seeing a lot of organic I'm a Lemonhead comments popping up in the
You should
live.
go through the
Your people are
airport with
showing
me.
up.
It's crazy. Oh man, you should go through the airport with me. It's when it first started to happen, I was shocked, like on the street. Like the other night, I was leaving Othello the play, and this woman said, two of them, "Can I get a picture with you? I'm a Lemonhead." I'm like, wow. It's great though.
Yeah, no, it's super cool, man. And it's because like I think it's because now you're able to be more authentic, right? Like I've been having conversations with a lot of people about authenticity and what's needed in media space and in the Democratic Party right now. And it's like you're able to show more of yourself to the public and not just like reserve it for the CNN New Year's Eve specials, right? Right? Like you can and people love it, right? So on that note of just getting back to like telling the truth and like being able to say what we want about what's going on, like I mean, this bill, I actually was shocked to find out that I thought they were just calling it the Big Beautiful Bill, like for shorthand. But in the website, it's literally called the One Big Beautiful Bill Act.
Yeah, yeah,
And I was like, okay, these people are really just appeasing his ego here. But I mean, the CBO, we got 2.4 trillion added to the debt. We got 10.9 million that'll be left uninsured with these Medicaid cuts. We've got just the SNAP benefit cuts and a direct transfer of wealth from the poor to the rich, with the CBO saying, the bottom 10% are going to have fewer resources. The top 10% will have more. It's just overt reverse Robin Hood. Like, what is your take on this bill? And we'll get to the Musk side of it in a second, but just on the impact, what is your take on it?
well, $2.4 trillion added to the deficit, and they had nerve enough to complain that they said Joe Biden was adding to the deficit after Joe Biden had to rescue the economy from
Yeah.
going off a cliff when Trump was in there the first time. So look, these people have some, you know what,
Yeah. Yeah.
to be able to push this. This bill is like anything else that Donald Trump does. He tries to market it and put his name on it. They put a name on it as to what he wants it to be. He tries to
Hmm.
shape his own reality. But the reality is for him right now, and for the lawmakers in Washington, and quite frankly for MAGA. I just got off of my YouTube show, 10 a.m. Hot Topics Eastern Time every Monday through Friday. But for this is make or break for them. It's do or
Yeah.
die. And the reason that they're doing it the way they're doing it is because they don't know how to legislate. They don't know how to govern. They don't know how to do things the right way. Or they understand the rules, but they don't want to use the rules because they know then that this bill is likely not to go through. So they're
Yeah.
trying to push it through without having any bipartisan any sign on from the Democrats, or having the Democrats have to scrutinize it publicly, with a filibuster or in Congress or in the Senate or whatever. They don't want any of that. And but
Exactly.
the folks are revolting because they're realizing the stuff that's in this bill is detrimental to them, and it's detrimental to mostly to the people who supported him, to middle
Exactly.
America. If you were going to lose your some of your social safety services, safety net services, if you're going to lose some of that, that is going to have a harmful effect on your life. If you're going to and just on being able to take care of your family, if you're going to lose Medicaid, anything like that, if states won't be able to have any sort of say over artificial intelligence that is rapidly growing and people don't know what it is, and now you have all of these lawmakers who signed it in Congress now saying, oh, I didn't know that was in there, I didn't know that was in there, I didn't know that was in there. That's because they didn't read it. You know
Exactly.
what they read? Donald Trump saying you got to sign this.
Hmm.
And now their constituents are saying, wait a minute, why did you sign this? And
Exactly.
so they have to do this because this will be the only real legislative thing, accomplishment that Donald Trump will have done besides an executive order, which any president can sign. But to get
Yes.
people to sign on to a bill and make it a law is quite another thing, and they can't do that. This will be terribly detrimental, will be seen as a failure to Donald Trump, to the Republican lawmakers, and to MAGA if this doesn't get passed, and I don't know if it's going to.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's really up in the air whether it'll get passed. There's all these different factions. There's now Holly and I guess the Medicaid crew that are trying to cosplay populists, say there's too steep cuts, and then you have the fake deficit hawks and Johnson and Rand Paul trying to say there's not enough cuts. But yeah, I mean, overall, your point is spot on. They're trying to force this all through because first off, it's almost a positive that they feel they need to, because it shows they're afraid of the midterms, right? They know they need to push everything in the agenda through because they know that they're cooked. They know they've already done enough damage in these first few months. And because they just all follow Trump's whim, like you said, we got Marjorie Taylor Greene saying, "Oh, I didn't read in page 200 something that AI can't be
she couldn't
regulated."
even get to page 200 and something. I was just like, okay, you didn't read it. I thought maybe she would say, maybe what she didn't read was on page 1,000 or something, or
Yeah,
700. She didn't get to 200 and something. Like,
she probably didn't get to page one.
Not reading it.
Yeah, probably didn't get to page one. And you're right. They just follow Trump's orders and just push this thing through because he wanted a big, beautiful bill that had everything in it. And when you do that, like, there's no comparison, obviously, because Build Back Better was significantly, more helpful to the people. But there was too much in that bill too that highlighted the factions within the Democratic Party, so they couldn't get it through, right? And I think we're seeing something similar here, where if you're trying to pack in everything from electric vehicle subsidy cuts, you're going to trigger the Musk, right? You're going to trigger the Musk faction, right? You're going to
already happening.
already
about that, I hope.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. Yeah, like you're going to trigger the Musk faction over here. You're doing these steep Medicaid cuts. You're going to trigger the fake populist faction in Holly, or maybe the more moderate ones in Murkowski. And then you're going to do this insane deficit spending that's going to further scare the bond market, which is already volatile because of the tariffs. Then you're gonna scare the deficit hawks. So they really painted themselves into a corner here. And you're right, the future of the bill, I definitely don't think as it stands it's going to pass. There's got to be major changes.
Yeah. Well, they did, you said the same thing that I said this morning. Donald Trump has backed himself into a corner.
Exactly.
And, just broadly, this bill really highlights the fact that Donald Trump is losing. He's not winning at all.
Yes.
Look at how the courts are pushing back, right? Look at what's happening with foreign policy. He did not end any war. Look at what happened with the tariffs and the stock market. He is pretending. It leads you to believe that he is accomplishing something and that he's winning if you look at all of these things that he's doing. But it's not. No one is signing on to it. The courts are not signing on to it. And it looks like right now, even his own Republican brothers and sisters in the Senate now and in the House are realizing it after they signed it. They're not even signing on to it. He's having to go down to Capitol Hill to convince people to sign on to this bill. And then now, here's the thing, okay, Ahmed, here's the thing. The person that you brought on in this unusual role that you created to weed out waste, fraud, and abuse in the system and to save money in Washington, D.C., Elon Musk for Doge, left the White House on Friday and couldn't wait to criticize the bill come Monday. I mean, maybe, I don't even know if he did it over the weekend. I think he said, finally, I can't hold back. I've got to say it. Yeah. And so that person who you tasked to do that is now saying this bill is waste, fraud, and abuse. That is what? What does that say about what you're doing?
Yeah, it says what you're doing is a disgusting abomination, right? To use Musk's own words, right? And now today, Musk is literally quote tweeting. He's doing, like, as we're on, quote tweeting old Trump tweets about the deficit and debt, and
he's
being like,
I don't have Twitter. What is he doing?
So basically, right now, he said, "I could not agree more," and he quote tweeted Trump from 2012 saying no member of Congress, should be eligible for re-election if they don't balance the budget. And he keeps taking old Trump tweets and saying he agrees with them, as if he's bashing the current bill. This is a full-on battle against Trump's signature piece of legislation. Like, this is a huge deal that immediately after Musk is beginning to turn on him, because I really think, obviously, he's against the bill for the the EV subsidies and other reasons, but I don't think he really cares about the deficit that much.
Well, here's the thing. This is a battle between two of the most powerful men in the world,
Yeah.
right? The one who is elected to office and is the leader of the free world, is supposed to be, but doesn't conduct himself as such. And between the richest man in the world. Who's going to win? I think they're going to have to do this. Somebody's going to have to pull out a tape measure at the end of the day and to figure this out. No, I think money talks. And I think that, those Republican lawmakers are afraid. They're afraid of Donald Trump and they're afraid of Elon Musk. Elon Musk
Yes.
backed many of their candidacies, right? And gave them a lot of money. Donald Trump has the MAGA base behind him, and they don't
Hmm.
like it when people go against their dear leader. So which one is going to win out? As Barack Obama said, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know which one is going to win out, but this fight is juicy
it
and
is.
everybody's been waiting for it. And as Azalea Banks says, the girls are fighting.
Yes, they are. And it's like that, that let them fight meme.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I've been used like it's the perfect let them like please continue this and please continue the beef. And the thing is like all of this is really playing out because I want to like kind of emphasize how this is a part of your point earlier about how Trump is losing. I've been writing about this for months, and also pointing out the potential schisms like even as someone who warned about Project 2025 since like 2023 and has been really afraid of that, Musk botched the implementation of that by moving so quickly and recklessly. And then now he's here. He full on went Icarus with a chainsaw and flew too
Oh, I
close to
like
the
that.
sun. Yeah, flew too close to the sun, and the cuts backfired. They backfired on him. They backfired on his companies. They backfired in the Wisconsin Supreme Court race. He's done political damage to Donald Trump and the Republicans. And now here he is going scorched earth. And I really think it is a part of this broader thing that people need to realize Trump is falling behind in court cases, falling behind in his agenda, falling behind in the effectiveness of what he wants to do. That's why he gets desperate and does this travel ban that's bigger than the Muslim ban last night. Like he is operating from a place of political weakness. And I think that's why we need more Democrats and people to kind of move with more bravado and prosecute this, right?
Mm-hmm. And operating in fear. I posited this morning that, I thought about it. And I was like, well, is it even a question? Did Elon Musk play Donald Trump? Was Elon Musk playing the long game, saying I need to go in there and I need to get back my incentives for EVs, right?
Mm-hmm.
My what do you call them, the deductions or whatever you get for buying an EV, whether new or used. I think you get like $7,500 for new, and then I forget what it is, maybe $2,000-3,000 for buying a used one. Um, and all of those things. Is a NASA, you're going to have SpaceX or whatever that company lead NASA, be a part of
Yeah.
it. Like all of those things, he did not get some of them, but what he did get was all the regulators
Yeah.
who had filed suit against him and who
Mm-hmm.
were going against him, whether it was in court or through the Congress. He got rid of all of those department heads,
Yeah.
and so he got a lot of what he wanted, and now he's out, and he's like, okay, you're not going to do this. You're not going to give me what I want for my EVs. You're not going to do this. Then we're going to see who wins. But I mean, did Trump get played?
I mean, I think they both, when you have a coalition of grifters, like it's only going to last as long as their interests are aligned. And I think it was only a matter of time where their interests would misalign. I think they both thought they were playing each other. I think they both overestimate their own intelligence and they both thought, oh, I'm getting what I want from Donald. We had Donald Musk's son, kind of belittling Trump in front of him at the Oval that one time, saying those weird comments to him. And it was
You're
like,
not the real president.
yeah, and it's like clearly he was overhearing stuff Musk was probably saying privately, right? I think that they thought they were playing each other and now they're both down. Like they both are leaving the relationship having hurt each other, right? And now we're seeing a scorned Trump or scorned Musk and hopefully soon a scorned Trump. The more this heats up, it's going to be mutually assured destruction. Someone, Sammy Sage, one of my friends was talking about that the other day. Like it's like a mutually assured destruction thing happening here, where their egos are just going to lead to both of their constituencies being harmed here. And also, just quickly, for those, I see a lot of hearts coming in here. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe. And if you can, become a paid subscriber because we do this independently. See a lot of people engaging in the comments. Keep it up. But like, yeah, Don, like overall, man, this Musk and Trump thing, I thought it was going to happen later.
Yeah.
But wow, this happened fast.
What you're describing is the play that I saw this week. It's Othello,
Yes.
right? It's happened like that's mutually assured destruction, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy that you said that. I just realized I'm like, yes, he's right. Mutually assured destruction, unless they kiss and make up. But I don't know. Donald Trump does not like to be criticized publicly, and to be
No.
criticized publicly from someone that you trust. He elevated Elon Musk, right?
Yeah.
Elon Musk gave him a lot of money, but Donald Trump elevated. Donald Trump put him on the stage in Butler, Pennsylvania. Donald
Hmm.
Trump put him at a press conference with him, sitting for a major interview sometimes with world leaders in the Oval Office. So he really cozied up and made him sort of the co-president. And I'm sure at some point, JD Vance was like, "Wait, what?
Yeah.
What about me over here?" Right? So and now that very person, I cannot stress this enough. The person that you told the American people and the world was the best person to root out the fraud, the waste, and abuse in government to save you your money is now criticizing your signature bill. I can't really
You couldn't
say
write
enough about
this.
that.
You
Yeah.
couldn't write this more perfectly for and again, like there's all of these schisms here. And it's just they're gonna continue to politically weaken because now the atrocity of the bill is being highlighted, right? Like the actual horrific nature of it is being spotlighted from all angles, from Trump's own allies, from Democrats. And if they force this thing through in any capacity, they are committing political suicide in the midterms. And I really think
You
like
believe that?
I just because they moved the Medicaid work requirements up to 2026, and they started they have done everything they can to make sure people feel pain earlier from this bill, and I just think as I mean obviously there's going to be the spin machine and the disinformation campaigns, but if Democrats can effectively and the media of course cover this and not just like mainstream legacy media, but this whole entire ecosystem of influencers can talk about this in a real way. Yeah, I think people will realize who's the cause of their rising prices.
Yeah.
Um, you know,
Yeah. Someone said, Leah Anderson says, I hope you're tight, Ahmed. I think she meant right.
oh, I hope so. Both
So,
fronts.
and then Maureen Marfell says, I hope you are right, Ahmed. I think that's
Yeah,
what she meant. I hope you're
yeah.
tight. No,
I
he looks
mean,
tight. He looks tight, but he's good.
I'm
Um,
trying to keep it tight. I just got married. I'm on a workout routine. I'm trying to keep it tight. Yeah,
yeah.
we're out here, married gang.
Trying to. Look, I lost a couple pounds. I was like, because you off the market.
Yeah,
You start, yeah, you start slipping, and I'm like, no, I can't slip. I got to get this weight off of
yeah.
me.
Got to
Um,
double down. Yeah, but
so
go ahead.
what do you think happens next between these? Look, I think Republicans always come home. Somehow they will figure out a way, I believe, to get this passed, but it won't look anything like it looks now. And if they don't, it's back to the drawing board. And again, that is a failure
Yeah,
for Donald Trump and MAGA.
yeah. I mean, I think some, I think the Medicaid cuts might be scaled back a little bit. They're gonna do some messaging, try to do some messaging wins where the core of the bill is still terrible, but they can try to message away and say, oh, we're not really cutting this much Medicaid, or we're not really, doing this. I think some form of the bill is going to pass. I don't think the bill in this current iteration is going to pass, but I think regardless, no matter what changes they make, the core of it, which I think is the main thing to sell to people, is that people will become uninsured. Bottom 10% lose resources, top 10% gain. It is a direct transfer of wealth. I think that part of the bill will stay, especially because the tax cuts need to be paid for somehow, right? And the deficit spending, I just think what it's a recipe for a recession, to be honest. If you have the bond markets increasing interest rates because of the volatility, compounded with the tariffs, also increasing volatility, and then you have prices rising, like this is just not what Americans voted for. And I think overall, because they're trying to just appease Trump's whim to get everything in one bill, they're going to harm themselves politically. And Trump doesn't have any more elections to run, but these Republicans and the Senate and the House do. And I think they're going to bear the brunt of it. But what do you
Yeah.
think?
I think they will bear the brunt of it. But look, I think it is very difficult for them. They're between a rock and a hard place. the Trump's core voters, right? The Trump base, they don't like it when people go against Trump. So they think that this bill is Trump for them, right?
Yeah.
But then there are the people who are maybe not MAGA and who are conservative Republicans who realize, like, wait a minute, this is not how is this smaller government and government efficiency? How is this um, lowering the deficit, the debt, and the deficit? How is this being fiscally responsible and fiscally conservative? There's nothing fiscally responsible or conservative about it. When
Yeah.
you say that you agree with, Elizabeth Warren about getting rid of the debt ceiling, then that's problematic for the Trump
Yeah.
base, right?
Yeah.
So look, I think they're up against it because they're trying to serve two masters right now, right? You
Yes.
got the budget hawks, as you said, like Holly and whatever. Holly's, I believe, more of a populist,
Yeah.
but you have the budget hawks, and then you have the populists,
Mhm.
and they're trying to serve two masters. And when you try to serve two masters, usually you don't end up serving either.
Exactly.
And so I think that I don't know. I say Republicans usually come home, but I don't know if this is going to get passed. I think there's too much time for Democrats to criticize it. I think Elon Musk could be the death blow to this bill because he's not relenting. And you have
Yeah.
Elon Musk agreeing with the Democrats, and he is providing content and fodder for
Hmm.
them to keep going the criticism that he's giving every single day. So I don't know. I think it may not happen.
Yeah, we'll see because we've got Musk on this side, and then we have Bannon on the other side, like representing
Oh
both the
Lord.
populist and the techno bro sides of this, and they're both attacking they're both attacking things from different sides. And you're right, we'll see how it plays out. But like, Don, I know you got some more stuff you got to get to here because you're live streaming 24/7 these days. Now
You
you're
noticed
always
that,
on.
right?
Yeah, I thought you were like I thought you were on simultaneously at one point. I saw you with Jim Acosta, and then I went on YouTube and it just popped up, and I was like, "Bro, weren't you just live like 2 minutes ago?" And now
Yeah.
you're live on
Oh
YouTube.
yeah. As soon as I hung up with Acosta, I went immediately to my 5 o'clock show on YouTube. You got to do what it do, man.
Yeah, you got to do what it do. Well, everybody, subscribe to the Don Lemon Show on YouTube, here on Substack. Tap that button at the top. Subscribe to both of us. We appreciate your time, Don. One final thing, I wanted to see if you had any final words. Like, if you wanted to tell journalists or the media generally how to cover this moment, what would be a succinct thing that you would say of like what this moment demands?
Stop pretending that this is normal. That's it. It's not. It is not
Yeah,
normal. And the way I want to say it is that this ain't normal. And stop pretending that it is normal. But I would love. We should continue to do this, Ahmed, on a continuous basis. Maybe we'll call it like Two Brothers Talking or something like that. But
I
I
like
think we
that
should do
name.
this. I
Yeah,
think we
yeah. But
should
we
do it
we
on
we
Substack.
call it Lemon Baba. We can do a little. We'll do
I
some
love it.
co-branding, man. Yeah.
I love it. I think we should do it every week. We should find
I'm
the time and
I'm
do it every
totally
week.
down. I'm
All
totally
right.
down. Let's do it.
Hit me up. Get my info from the producers. I think you have it. All
I
right.
do. All right, brother. All right, good stuff. Talk soon.
Take care. Thank
All
you.
right.
Thanks everyone for watching. Your support means the world to us. So make sure you hit the like button and you subscribe to our channel to make sure that you never ever miss a video. We're live every day, 10 a.m. Eastern time. We drop even more content at 2 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Eastern. And if you want more Don Lemon Show content, we'd love for you to become a member of the Lemon community, where you will receive access to special community posts. You'll get exclusive content and members only live shows. So head over to our channel page or click the join button on this video. Again, thank you for watching. We appreciate your love and your support, and we will see you next time.